Looking down at the body, I could hardly understand why it all happened. I guess some people are just greedy. Or dumb as hell. Not long ago, I was an extremely happy man with no problems and a company that made good money. Actually, it made great money thanks to the government contracts. I have a wife who loves me and kids that are happy and healthy. I guess I had it all. That would explain why some idiot tried to take all away from me. That's someone being Hal Johnson. It was his body I was looking at on the floor with a puddle of blood underneath it. Digging down deep, I pulled as much bile I could and spit on the lousy carcass. May he enjoy hell, because if anyone deserves to be there, it was him. I've been a businessman most of my adult life, dealing with the good and the bad that goes with it. There will always be people you deal with that you can forge lifelong relationships with, and those who are just out to screw you. Hal Johnson was one of the latter. My life and business model was a simple one. Help those who need it, and in turn you may receive help when you need it. I had assistance from my in-laws and a few small businesses in town when I wanted to start my little computer shop. Nothing big, just a niche business buying and selling some highly classified computer components. Of course, I didn't start out dealing with that kind of stuff. In the beginning, all I did was fix broken computers, write a little code, and design specialty components for some very specific business uses. Started out with just me, and as took on more clients, I hired a few people. I signed a few contracts with a couple of colleges and small businesses. Just so happens to be the same small businesses that helped me start up in my current form. And you can bet but I gave them a discount. I did most of their work for cost. The local college signed because I was an alumni and I hired kids from the school computer school. I can't tell you what the components are that I deal in, because if I did, I'd have to kill you. Just kidding. I always wanted to say that. No, but really, I'd have to kill you, so don't ask. During the early years of my business, I met and fell in love with a gorgeous-looking brown-haired beauty named Julie. I don't think it was love at first sight for her, but for me, I was gaga from the word go. Eventually, I won her heart, and we got married. During the first years, we struggled to make a living, but she did a great job in making ends meet. I made her CFO of the business because she has a knack with money. The other day, I was approached during my lunch at a local diner. He didn't ask. He just sat down across from me and started talking like he knew me. Now, I don't get shook up too easily, so I let him do his thing. He talked about how he could help me make loads of money and keep it out of the government's hands. After a few minutes of him talking, he sounded more like an adult from a Charlie Brown cartoon. I didn't miss a bite. I really liked the diner's open-faced roast beef sandwich with gravy, gluten-free of course. After he finished his spiel, I sipped my coffee and looked at him. No. Boy, did he deflate. I wanted to play a game with the new a-hole in my life. I don't do business with people I don't know. Introductions are a must. You obviously know me. So who the hell are you? My name is Hal Johnson and I. Interrupting him, well then, you know who I am, but you obviously haven't done your homework before you rudely interrupted my lunch. So let me tell you how I do business. 1. Never ever bother me during lunch. 2. My business only does legitimate dealings with established companies that are checked out by my people. 3. I have too much to risk, so nothing illegal is ever done by me or my people. 4. The answer is no, just because I don't like you. He made it past deflated and ran straight to ticked off. You don't understand. We can get filthy rich from this deal I'm proposing. I'm rich enough. Now leave before you see the wrong side of me. Sliding out of the booth, trust me when I say, I can't let this go. We will meet again. Damn, now I lost my appetite for apple pie. Hal Johnson said he couldn't let this go, so now I guess I can't either. Being who I am, I had people who knew people. My people uses computers to talk to people who is all your shit on their computers. I asked one of my most trusted computer geeks to start a cursory check on Mr. Hal Johnson. My top computer geek's name is Harold Watson, but we nicknamed him Monster. He's 6 feet 5 inches tall and weighs 250 pounds. He's a muscle-bound genius that loves kids and has a shy streak so bad when it comes to girls, he freezes just talking to one outside of work. I consider him one of my friends. I told him about my lunch and asked him to start a background on Mr. Hal Johnson. Keep the check in-house for now and get back to me ASAP. Do not check the government's database until you talk to me, okay? No problem, boss. I'll call you as soon as it's done. You aren't expecting any trouble, are you? I hope not, but this guy puts me off a bit. Monster got an uneasy look on his face because he knows my senses aren't often wrong. I better get busy. I don't like this. With that, I decided to go home early and catch up with the family. My wife took today off early to get home and see to the kids. I caught my wife in the kitchen putting the final touches to dinner. Sneaking up behind her to nuzzle her neck, I was only inches away from her. Don't even think about it. What? Me? Huh. I wasn't doing nothing. Both of us laughing at each other. She turned around looking at me, so I grabbed her, pulling her to me. I was closer this time. Your spider sense must be getting dulled with age, or is it because of the incredible hot feeling you have between your legs for your husband? More than likely from age. My husband doesn't turn me on anymore. Now she was showing a slight smirk. But I am more than willing to take him to bed right now, and he can give it his best shot to get me off. Well, I don't know. Maybe we should wait, and I'll go take one of those little blue pills just to make sure I'm up for the job. Oh no, you don't. The last time you took one of those pills you had me for 3 hours and I was sore for a week. Besides, the kids will be home soon and I have to finish dinner. Okay, no blue pill, but you are still going to be sore. I feel exceptionally large today. You wish, Buster. Let's go before I change my mind. Running up the stairs to our bedroom, we were peeling clothes as we went. By the time we reached the bed, she was down to bra and panties, and I still had everything the waist down on. Noticing my predicament, she smiled. Well, since you were taking your time, I'll just go ahead and get started. With that, she teased me by reaching behind and unclasping her bra strap and slowly letting it fall. See anything you like? As she pushed her remaining clothes down to her ankles, stepping out of them. If you don't hurry up and get over here, I won't need you. I was mesmerized by her show. I was turned on huge. But when she said if I didn't get to her, I wouldn't be needed, I woke up and stripped the last of my clothes. We had wild sex. All part of my master plan, you know. Your happiness is an absolute desire, and that especially means laughter and climaxes. I love you, honey. I love you too. Now let's get up and finish dinner before the kids come home. The kids got home from their school activities, and we had a nice sit-down dinner. With our kids growing up in our business, we have seldom have time for this. But when we do, it is always a great time. We got cleaned up after dinner and went to bed. One of the best things in life is going to bed with the woman of your dreams and waking up with her in the morning. Even though we own the company, we don't always have the same schedule. I usually have meetings outside the office while my wife keeps things together in the office. But today we want to work together. As soon as we walked in the door, Monster was there to greet us. Boss, we need to talk now. He didn't look none too happy, and I had a feeling it was about yesterday. Julie asked what was going on, so I explained yesterday's lunch and what Mr. Hal Johnson said to me. I knew a Hal Johnson in college, but I doubt it's the same man. As she said it, she had an unsettled look on her face, and the tone in her voice disturbed me. I gave her a look. What? Was her reply. Now looking at Monster, tell me what you found out after we get in my office. We entered the office and closed the door. Okay, what's got you on edge? Boss, from what I can find about this guy is he has some connections to organized crime, and it seems he owes these guys some money, and the look from Julie's reaction to his name, I have a feeling you were targeted because of her. My wife. Now, Monster, you have no proof I'm the reason he approached my husband with that so-called deal. The Hal Johnson I knew was a nice guy who wouldn't have got caught up with gangsters. Julie, I checked him out. He is the same guy you dated in college. How many Hal Johnsons went to the same college at the same time as you? And he is involved with organized crime. Sorry, boss, but I got into the Fed's database even though you told me not to. I had to confirm things. That's okay, Monster. Looking at my wife, Julie, you obviously were more involved with this guy in college than I like, and I think you're letting some fond memories cloud the present reality. You and I will talk in a moment about your history with your man Hal. Now she gave me a look. Monster, I think it's time to notify the feds and tell them about our new friend. I already did. Sorry I called them before talking to you, but with our government contracts, I really didn't have a choice. They started their investigation as soon as I called. That's fine. Now you understand why I count on you so much. Thanks, boss. I'm going back to work on this guy. I really have a bad feeling about all of this. Go to your thing and thanks. Turning my attention to my wife. Okay, spill it. Honey, there's not much to say. We dated in college. He was a nice guy and we had fun together. What kind of fun? Well, you know, not able to look me in the eyes. Julie, you are my wife and I love you more than you could possibly imagine. It was love at first sight for me, and yes, I know not so much for you. But now is not the time to hide things from me. I get it, you screwed the guy in school, but if you still have feelings for him, you better tell me now. Honey, the only feelings I have for him are memories from a different life. Really? Then you want to explain the look you had on your face after you heard his name. I'm beginning to see her getting uncomfortable. Honey, what Hal and I had was nothing. Are you jealous that Hal and me? Jealous, envious, mad as hell. You're damn right. I hate not being your first. I love you that much. You are my life, and right now the connection between you and this guy disturbs me greatly. Even after the information that Monster gave us, it seems you are defending your old boyfriend. Why? Do you still have a connection with this guy I need to know about? Because if there is, you better tell me now. Now she's beginning to look upset. Honey, I haven't talked to Hal since school. We broke up in school. He was upset about it. But it was his fault because I caught him cheating on me. That's all, really. You said he was a nice guy, but he cheated on you. Is that your definition of a nice guy? Now, are you holding back on me? About anything? No, honey, I'm not. Okay, it looks like this is going to go to the toilet and quick. Now I have the FBI snooping around because of his connection to organized crime. That means my family is in trouble, and I know I'm going to have to get dirty on this. Just when I was planning a vacation, this guy is really pissing me off. Now looking at her like I have for so many years, if anyone ever, and I mean ever, comes to do any harm to my family or any old boyfriend tries to reconnect with my wife, I swear to you that a life-ending experience will result. You have never seen me that angry, so pray that I don't have to go there. I think I startled her a little. I understand, honey. I know how much you love your family, and there is no way I would allow or want any reconnection from any old boyfriend. I love you too much for that. Good. Now you have to go to work, and I have a company and a family to protect. Something was putting me off about my wife and her old boyfriend. I had to find out what was going on. Time to activate STOP, Silent Tactical Operations Protocol. Once a stop call went out, there was absolutely nothing that could end it until those on the tactical team say so. As far as protocol is concerned, I am also the problem until they prove different. STOP would literally invade every sense of privacy a person can enjoy to determine if they're a threat to any facet of the company, whether it be on a commercial or personal level. Commercial level means any facet of the business itself that could be damaged or trust violated. Personal level means screwing with me, my family, or my employees in any shape or form. It was a safety measure that I set up long ago, and also the reason I have the government contracts I do. I'm also the only one in the company aware of this last line of defense. Not my wife, FBI, or the federal agencies I have contracts with knows. Besides the people on STOP, there is only one person outside the company that knows about it, and he runs a government agency that has 3 initials and have guys with computers and guns. To make sure I stay honest, they work behind the scenes periodically to watch me and the company. Like I said before, I'm an honest businessman. Next, I needed to make sure my family was safe. Bodyguards were assigned, but they had orders to remain distant unless needed. With the FBI called in by Monster, I knew it was only a matter of time before they showed up at the office. I hoped they would wait and look at the organized crime angle first before Mr. Hal Johnson noticed them and skipped town. I checked in with Monster before I left for the day to see if he found anything new. According to him, he traced Hal Johnson back about 15 years and found out he was married to a Angela Martin, maiden name, had 2 kids, Mike and Emma, worked as a middle manager in some now defunct real estate company in Peoria until his wife caught him screwing the company receptionist and divorced him. She also sued the company, and they had to pay out big time because they didn't enforce the non-fraternization clauses in the adulterers' employment contracts. Because of the size of the award and poor management, the company quickly went under. Oh yeah, guess who owned the company? The same organized crime family that Mr. Hal Johnson is now, or should I say still associated with. Monster, I need you to send what you have to the FBI, but under no circumstances do you tell my wife or anyone else in this company what you have, understand? Sure, boss, but why keep it from your wife? I need to ensure her safety, so no information about her former boyfriend goes to her. I understand. With that, I went by my wife's office to take her home. As I approached her office, she was on the phone talking on what I assumed was company business, but as soon as she seen me, she abruptly ended the call, looking like I just caught her with her hand in the cookie jar. Honey, I didn't see you there. How long have you been standing there? What's wrong? You seem uneasy. Nothing's wrong. I didn't expect to see anyone standing there, that's all. Well, come on then, day's over. Let's go home. She turned off her computer and grabbed her purse, following me out the building. Our ride home was quiet, and she looked unsettled the entire ride home. The kids were waiting for us as we walked in the door. What's for dinner? We're hungry. Tell you guys what, it's been a rough day, so let's do pizza tonight. Afterwards, we have to have a family meeting. There is something very important I need to talk to everyone about, okay? Since pizza night happened seldom, I had agreement all around. Since Julie and I are getting older, we have been eating healthier and picked up our exercise regimen. Besides, it's nice to eat a Mario's pizza every now and then. I put his online ordering computer system in place along with an Android app for mobile users, at a substantial discount I might add. Yeah, you guessed it, he helped me with my business early on. Now his son John runs the pizzeria, and he expanded the business with a frozen pizza line for regional grocery stores. Needless to say, the business employs a good number of local people and is important to the community. He loves the town and still works in the original shop his dad opened 40 years ago. The pizza delivery driver turned out to be Paul, who is sweet on my daughter Bethany. Beware of guys who wants to date your daughter. Of course, Bethany answered the door and minutes passed before the pizza made it past the front door. I know if they were kissing on the front stoop before I got my pizza, he won't get a tip. Bethany made Paul bring the pizza in the living room while I put in the newest Godzilla movie in the Blu-ray player. Hey Dad, Paul's here with the pizza. I can see that, honey. Hello Paul, how are you? Boy, does this kid look nervous. Hello sir. I'm fine sir. Bethany now nudging him in the arm. Sir, Mr. Golden sir. There is a movie coming out on Friday and I'd like to ask Bethany to go along. If it's okay with you, sir? All I could do was smile along with my wife and other daughter. I wanted to make the kid sweat some more, but took pity on him. Besides, the pizza was getting cold. Sure, Paul, I think that would be fine. But you know the rules. Do nothing that could get you guys hurt or in trouble after the movie, and she gets home by 11 p.m., okay? Yes, sir, no problem. I was going to take her to eat after the movie and bring her home right away. Sounds like a nice evening. Set the pizza down there, and here you go. Keep the change. Thank you, Mr. Golden. I'll see you in school tomorrow, Bethany, he said, turning and going out the front door. After the door closed, everyone except Bethany busted up laughing. Dad, did you have to be like that? Why did you have to say anything about rules? My God, you embarrass me so much. Oh, honey, I wasn't that bad. Now let's get to eating and watch Godzilla, said with a terrible Japanese missed syllable mouthing. Godzilla is one of my wife's favorite monsters. Hell, we went to see the movie a couple times while it was still in theaters. After the movie, it was meeting time. Since my wife knows some of what was going on, I needed to tell the girls. Girls, I have a few important things to tell you. There is something going on at work, and there's going to be some trouble. I know you don't know all that much about what we do down at the shop, but you're old enough now for a little information. But this information is not to be told to others, understand? Our business works with the government on some very important projects. These projects involved are very important and classified. Because of the nature of this trouble, I've taken steps to protect the business, the employees, and especially us as a family. You may see things around the business when you visit me or your mom, and I don't want you to freak out when you see the FBI there, okay? My youngest, Carla. What's going on, Dad? Why would the FBI be getting involved? Not wanting to tell too much, it's just because of the government contracts we have. Our company has obligations that the government be told if I think there could be trouble, that's all it is. Of course, I'm leaving out the fact that they have bodyguards assigned to them. If the guards do their job right, they shouldn't be seen. Now go to bed, and I'll see you for breakfast in the morning. I cleaned up the pizza box while Julie went up to shower. She was just getting ready to rinse the shampoo out of her hair when I walked in and wrapped my arms around her, causing her to let out a sigh that made me go stiff. I don't remember inviting you in here, mister. Just conserving water, my beautiful. Aren't you on the local water conservation committee, and your campaign to reduce water usage is in full swing? Well, I'm doing my part to save water like a responsible citizen and trusted business owner as the community requires. Now, didn't I see you drop the soap? She turned around, wrapping her arms around me, and gave me a kiss. Okay, I'll share. I don't want to be accused of wasting our natural resources. She got the look on her face that always makes my meat twitch. No, you did not see me drop the damn soap. Now quit messing around and get cleaned up. I'll be on the bed waiting for you, and that drill of yours better be ready for that skin-to-skin friction. You understand? Smacking my butt? She left the shower and I scrubbed myself clean so fast I broke a world's record. I made it onto the bed before she had the chance to turn the covers down and proceeded with my specialized drilling technique in her tunnel, with her vocalizing, "Oh God," twice before I deposited that rare fluid she prizes so much, and not with the dreaded words of, "Here it comes," but instead with the most used words of my vocabulary of, "I love you, Julie." Sleep came quickly for Julie, but I was troubled and could only manage a few hours. I do love my wife like mad, but I remained unsure of her relationship with Mr. Hal Johnson. I would have to proceed delicately until I received information from Stop Associates. Getting out of bed early, I made breakfast for everyone. Eggs, fruit, pancakes, and of course coffee. I don't care what anyone says, coffee is good for you. The girls ate and left for school while Julie and I finished ours and cleaned up. Honey, I have a couple meetings today, so you'll have to drive yourself to the office today, and I'll meet up with you later, I told Julie, kissing her goodbye. Okay, I have to finish the audit of the books anyhow, so I'll see you in a bit. Oh yeah, the yearly audit. How's that going anyway? Anything I need to know about? Nothing you need to know, honey. Everything is okay, as she walked out the front door. She didn't seem to be terribly convincing to me. Getting in my car, I made the first call. Let's have the first report. As you already know, protocol requires your investigation to be conducted first. The intermittent investigations and this requested review proves no coercion or deceptive behavior on your part, and you are deemed cleared for information release. You may proceed. Stop associates are in place and are conducting the internal reviews as we speak. All reviews of internals will be completed by noon today. External review of the FBI agents and others will be completed by this time tomorrow. Very well. Has he been alerted? Yes, sir, he has. He is expecting your call. Thank you. You can expect my follow-up call at 12:15 hours. Any other time, or if you do not hear from me, initiate DAP, Destroy External Attack Protocol. Understood. I expected the next call would be less formal. Hello. Mike, it's me. I was expecting your call. How bad is it? I'll find out after lunch, but I think it's bad. She's hiding something. You sure? Afraid so. What it is I don't know, but I'm sure it involves her former boyfriend and is coming to push that deal at lunch with me yesterday. Okay, how do I proceed? Keep her safe no matter what. I don't have to tell you what to do if you get a whiff of any hint of danger. No, you don't. I have to go now. I'll be stopping in the office to check in with Monster and then going to lunch. I'm expecting an unwanted lunch companion. You be careful. I will. Thanks, Mike. Monster was keeping tabs on my location with the installed GPS in my vehicle, so he was waiting for me as I came in. He brought me up to speed on the FBI surveillance of the crime family in Peoria. I guess Mr. Hal Johnson has been in contact and has pretty much been told if he fails making the deal with me that his little pecker will be in a mason jar before month's end. I guess they're still pissed he caused them so much money screwing that receptionist. Since it was his actions that caused the court-ordered settlement to his ex-wife, he was convinced to repay the money by way of a little death threat. They had no issues with his ex. She did only what any scorned woman would have done. Guess he's not doing this of his own free will. He's just trying to stay alive after making a seriously poor decision on cheating. But I can give a shit. My wife and business are involved. Another poor decision made by my wife's old boyfriend. I want his pecker in a mason jar just because he had her before I did. No, I'm not bitter. Also, the family is thinking that some incentive may be necessary if I don't cooperate. No specifics were recorded, but still I'm glad I was proactive in my assignment of bodyguards. I thanked Monster with keeping me up with the investigation on Hal Johnson. Remember me telling you Monster loves kids but is shy around girls? Hey, how did things with you and Susie go? You guys went out this past weekend, right? Yes, thanks for setting me up. Why didn't you tell me she was that gorgeous? Surprise, you know how I am. I made a fool of myself for the first hour, unable to speak. I couldn't help but laugh. Buddy, we warned her ahead of time about your shyness, so she knew what to expect, and trust me, she understood. Besides, her MIT doctorate in computer science keeps you two on an even keel. What? She's a geek like me? You don't know about her degree? I figured you would have discussed your similar backgrounds when you talked. She said she was a cheerleader and went to college and got her degree, but she didn't say anything about MIT. Holy cow, she the most beautiful girl I've ever met, and she's smart. Wow. Well, we did cut dinner a little short because she joined me for a quick stop at the hospital at the children's ward. Little Mary was feeling down, so I wanted to stop in and cheer her up. You took a girl to the hospital for a first date? You horned dog, you. Boy, did I have him blushing. Stop it, will ya? When I told Susie that I volunteer at the children's ward and that Mary was down and needed cheering up, she wanted to go right then and there. How could I say no? I love those kids. I know you do. That's why you're special to us all. Did you get a second date? Yes, but with all this going on around here, I don't know when we'll get to go. Don't worry about that. She'll be working here as of tomorrow. Now looking serious, and I expect you to conduct yourself professionally during working hours because I don't need no damn sexual harassment lawsuit. After hours, well, you'll figure it out, I said, smiling. As I went down the hall, I could hear him say, "Oh shit." I peeked my head in to see Julie to let her know I was in the office. How's it going, honey? She looked up and smiled. Hi, honey. How's your morning going? I just got done giving Monster a ribbing about Susie. That was fun. Oh yes, I forgot about setting them up on that blind date. It went well, I take it? He's already in love and doesn't know it. I'm sure she'll tell him when she realizes she is in love with him too. Just like you and me, huh? I didn't need told I was in love with you. I knew it the moment I laid eyes on you. Looking down, it took so long for you to show me any affection outside the end-of-date kiss. I gave up. After 2 months of dating, I figured you weren't into me, so I quit calling, remember? She looked toward the floor. I decided to concentrate on the business and try to forget about you. It took weeks of me getting lost in my work before I started to feel better. During that time, I never heard from you, so I guess I was right. You didn't care. I even considered asking one of the girls I knew from school out on a date so I could start the process of getting over you. Then out of the blue, you called me. You didn't say anything beyond how you been, or try to find out why I haven't called. Do you remember how distant I sounded? I was still in love with you, but I didn't want to hurt over you any longer, so I sort of stayed quiet. Julie is now looking sadly at me. I remember Dennis. I remember it all. But you were wrong about one very big thing. I was already in love with you. I was so in love with you it scared me. I was so afraid back then. I never felt so strongly for anyone my whole life, and I didn't know what to do, so I held back. That way you couldn't hurt me when you dropped me, and my life would be better. When you quit calling me for dates, I figured I was right. I dated a couple guys from before we met trying to forget you, but I couldn't. For weeks I was a mess. I compared all of them to you, and they weren't even close to the top of the man scale. Hell, honey, you are the man scale. No man can or will ever compare to you. Then I decided to call you because I was only happy when I was with you, but you wouldn't talk to me. I thought I was too late. But you called again, didn't you? Now me smiling. You bet your butt I did. There was no way I was going to give you up without a fight. I was determined not to hold back this time and show you I really did love you. The second time I called, I asked you out, remember? Yeah, I remember. I was so excited when you asked me out. I was barely able to hold my water, but I was still scared shitless. I was afraid you were setting me up or playing some kind of game, you know the kind, bring a geek to dinner and then make fun of him. But I didn't, did I? No, you didn't. When we met at the restaurant, you jumped up and kissed me so strong you took all my fears away and made me hard. Now she was smiling big. Yeah, I know. I knew at that moment you were mine and we're going to be forever. The rest is history. I love you now more than I thought possible. I couldn't live without you, and I would do anything to make sure you'll never leave me. This last part sounded more like desperation than a statement of love. Honey, is there something wrong? Surprised at the question, no. A little too loud and looking away, no, nothing's wrong. That is exactly what I needed. I know there is something very wrong and she is involved. Come here. All I wanted at that moment was to hold her and never let her go. We held each other tight with neither one of us wanting to be the first to let go. We better get back to work, okay? With me kissing her gently on the lips. I love you. I love you too, honey. I walked out of her office with my worst fears rolling around in my head. She screwing her old boyfriend and trying to take my company away from me. Noticing the time, lunch? This should be interesting, I thought to myself. I already knew I was under surveillance, so I wasn't too worried for my safety. Hal Johnson wouldn't get any deal if he put a bullet in my head, so I wasn't worried. No, these types of people try to influence people in other ways. Strong-arming, kidnapping, extortion, etc. Getting to the diner around 11:30 a.m. I found it slower than usual, so I was able to take my favorite booth and ordered the special. They always have good food here. I was almost done enjoying the food, thinking the trip was going to be a bust when he walked in and sat down across from me. At first I was disappointed he showed, but I quickly changed my mind. A morbid sense of curiosity came upon me, and I wanted to see what his next move was going to be. Not demonstrating any emotions, I just sat there looking at him. He needed to make the first move. It was his life on the line after all. So, have you thought any more on what we discussed the other day? You know it would be good for both of us, and we can make a lot of money. Boy, did he look nervous. I have thought long and hard about your deal, and I think you and your deal is full of shit. He didn't even look surprised. Come on, you're a businessman and you're in the business to make money. Am I right? So what's wrong with making a lot of money in one deal instead of a little money in a lot of deals? Who says I don't make a lot of money in a single deal? We've seen your books. We know how much money you've earned in the past 5 years and who you have made it from. I really think you could have done better with that General Daytonics deal last year. Now I'm really interested in his next statement, especially since I know who controls the books. Who showed you my books? Who do you think? Your wife. I was just about to reach over the table and strangle his little neck when I realized the time. 12:10 hours. I wasn't ready for DAP yet, so, look, dickhead. All I want to do right now is squeeze my fingers around your neck until you turn blue, and with the way things work in this town, I'd probably get away with it. But frankly, I don't feel like ruining my lunch. I think it best if you leave me right now, or the next few hours for you will be very painful, immediately followed by you delivering a message to Satan. Up close and person, if you get my meaning. That shook him up a little. Okay, I understand the shock of finding out your wife betrayed you, in more ways than one. So I'll give you a little more time to find out you have no choice. What do you mean my wife betrayed me in more ways than one? Now the creep was smirking. I've had her. Recently, that is. The creep had the nerve to wiggle his eyebrows at me. His nose will heal, but it will take a team of doctor's hours to put it back in place. But if his words had any truth to them, my heart would not heal. As he stumbled out of the diner door, the others inside just looked on in disbelief. I have never even raised my voice in public, let alone punched someone. I threw a $20 bill on the table and walked out looking at no one. After I was outside, I realized my hand was torn up and bleeding. I must have hit him harder than I thought. I was surprised the pain just hasn't registered yet. Inside my car, I made the call just before 12:15 hours. Report, please. Are you all right, sir? We've had a report from your surveillance of an altercation. Do you need assistance? No, please give me the report on the internals. There was a slight hesitation. Very well, sir. The internal reviews are complete as promised and no threats have been found, except we found unusual activity within the accounting department. It appears an unauthorized release of detailed company financial records were sent out by email. However, as you know, the audit is not scheduled for another 3 days. The information was released 3 weeks ago and involved more than is necessary for the type of audit planned. We are aware that your wife is in charge of the department. We are intensifying the internal review of her activities. The information was downloaded in an internet cafe 50 miles from here. The external reviews are ongoing and as expected will be ready for you tomorrow at 1200 hours. Is there anything else? No, sir. Second step stop protocol will be implemented since a principal of the company is now suspect. Understood. I will be making contact with that principal in a few minutes. If you do not hear from me by this time tomorrow, DAP authorized. I ended the call. Walking into the office, I realized my employees stopped what they were doing and went quiet. They were looking at me. I forgot that my hand was still bloody from Hal Johnson's face. What is everyone looking at? Get back to work now. I have never talked meanly to any of my employees, so the shock on their faces registered and brought me back to the present. I'm sorry everyone. Please just go back to what you were doing, okay? One of the office girls asked if I was okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Just go back to work, please. I slowly walked down the hall to my wife's office, dreading the conversation I was about to have. If what that a-hole said was true about him being my wife's lover, it would kill me, but I would still divorce her. Fidelity in a marriage is an absolute. I hold my marriage vows sacred, and I expect the same in return. As I entered her door, she looked up and saw me standing there. The anguish expressed on my face was obvious, and she immediately got worried. Then she noticed my hand as the swelling and blood stood out from my bright-colored clothes. Oh my God, honey, what happened? As she rushed around her desk and came to me. Is it true? I asked quietly. She looked even more worried now. Is what true? You and your old boyfriend, damn it. I said so loud I was heard in the offices down the hall, causing employees to come out and look toward us. Timidly, me and Hal? I don't understand, honey. What do you mean? Stop it, Julie. Stop it right damn now. You know exactly what I'm talking about, and you better start talking or my next call is to an attorney. What? What are you talking about? An attorney? An attorney for what? For our divorce. That's what a husband does. He talks to an attorney when he finds out his wife is a 304. Without thinking, she reached up and slapped my face hard. I just stood there with my heart breaking. Seconds later, anger was replaced with immense pain as my eyes filled with more tears than they could hold. I walked to a chair and sat down heavy and cut loose, crying like a child. I thought you loved me? Why would you do this to me? To us? Why? She just stood there, with a shocked expression on her face, not saying anything. All she did was look at me in disbelief, watching me cry like never before. I was a broken man. Everything I cared about was being taken from me. Besides my children, my marriage was literally everything I've ever wanted. The business was only a perk that provided for us and my employees. I would be happier living with her in a box under a bridge than lose the woman I have loved for so long. Why, Julie? Why wasn't I enough for you? I love you so much, and you had to go sleep around with your old boyfriend. Don't worry, though. The doctors can fix pretty boy's nose. He may not be as pretty for you as before, and he'll have a hard time breathing out of it for a long while. But if you want him that bad, I'll think you'll overlook his deformity. What? What do you mean I screwed my old boyfriend? What the hell are you talking about? Is that how you hurt your hand? Breaking his nose? I know, Julie. I know about the release of our financial records. He told me and my guys confirmed it. Do you want to explain things to me before I call the FBI to come and arrest you? She collapsed in the chair across from me, now with her eyes losing the fight against tears. Honey, I'm so sorry. I had to do it. I had to send the records to them. They were forcing me to do it. You have to understand. I had no choice. They were. You had to. You had to. You screwed the a-hole because you had to. Bullshit. Explain to me why you had to sleep with that shit stain. Explain to me why you threw our marriage away. Why you threw our family away. I didn't have sex with anybody. You have to believe me. I swear on everything I love, I didn't cheat on you. I didn't. She broke down sobbing pitifully. Finally, she pulled herself together. Dennis, I didn't have sex with Hal. Please believe me. I would have killed myself before I ever let him touch me again. Why do you think I slept with him? He told me. Right after he told me you released our financial records to him. Now tell me that a-hole is lying. I swear I didn't sleep with him. He tried to make me, but I wouldn't. What about the financial records? That's how all this started. You know you weren't my first and that I was with Hal in college. I regret all of it now. God, how I wish you had me first. Hal was a terrible lover. All he cared about was his own pleasure. I was only with him a few times before I caught him cheating. What I didn't know was that he had hidden cameras in his room. He has video of us having sex, and he was going to send them to you if I didn't cooperate and give him what he wanted. If what you say is true, that was 20 years ago. Don't you think I could tell the difference in how you look? You gave birth to 2 girls for Christ's sake, and you're 20 years older. Don't you think I could tell the difference? I know every inch of your body. I know how it looked then, and I sure in the hell know how it looks now. Damn it. He was going to put it on the internet. You were going to get them after he released them. He was blackmailing me with those damn videos by posting them and sending them to our friends and family. It would have ruined our reputation. Don't you see? Don't you think your reputation could be restored after the truth came out? I really thought you trusted me after all these years and the love we've shared. I was just about done. All I did was sit there looking into space falling apart inside. What do we do here in our business, Julie? We sell computers and some components and programming. Why? My God, you have no idea, do you? You keep our money and you know where it comes from, but you really don't know what we actually do here. How could she not know? Dennis, honey, what are you talking about? I have the most extensive line of classified computer equipment sold to the US government. We have million-dollar contracts to help the government hold its most prized secrets. With that kind of power, don't you think I could have taken care of little Hal Johnson with little more than a phone call? The loudness and absolute anger of my voice brought employees out of their offices again. But you had no trust in me to tell me what was going on, did you? You had so little faith in your husband's ability to keep his family safe that you instead gave into industrial espionage that could put you in jail for the rest of your life and destroy this company and the lives of not only your family but our employees too. Julie sat there saying nothing for a couple minutes, comprehending my last words. My God, what have I done? I'm so sorry, but I was terrified when he contacted me and said he would post those videos. At first I refused, but he said if I didn't cooperate he would have you or the girls hurt. I couldn't allow that to happen. I just couldn't. He proved that he could have your hurt. How did he do that? How could he prove that kind of capability? He showed me photos taken of you being followed and how easy it would be for you to have an accident. He had pictures of the girls at volleyball practice and out with their friends. He said it would be so easy. You would have your accident and the girls would disappear. My girls, Dennis. I had to do it. I couldn't let my family be hurt. I couldn't. As she started another crying fit. Well, there's no chance of that happening. You and the girls have had bodyguards assigned to you since Monster gave us the information he had on Mr. Hal Johnson. No one on this planet could hurt you or our girls unless they had a small army. I took out my phone. Mike, time to come in. I'll be right in. Julie had a very bewildered look on her face. Dennis, what's going on? You and the girls are taking a little trip. I don't understand. A trip where? Why? I can't leave you. I don't want to leave you. Dennis, don't make me leave, please. You can't make me leave. We need to talk. You don't have a choice. About that time, Mike came in. Julie, this is Mike. He will be looking after you and the girls. You will go with him and pick up the girls from school. You will do exactly what he tells you to do when he tells you to do it. I'm not leaving you. Julie, listen. You have no idea how close you have come to destroying everything we have. Our marriage, our family, and our business will be taken from us if I don't act accordingly in the next 48 hours. I'm leaning toward believing you when you say you have not been screwing your old boyfriend, but not coming to me when he contacted you, and your release of our financial records can destroy this company and everyone with it.